What's up, everybody? It's Jasmine. On today's episode of the Slain Project, I'm going to be talking about the case of 75-year-old Wesley Still Smoking. He vanished while driving to Tulsa, Oklahoma in October 2018. The next day after he left home, his image was caught on a hunter's trail cam, and he has never been seen or heard from since. Now, I've always wanted to do this case since before I even started my channel, and it just absolutely amazes me that he has never been found. If you would like to see more videos on missing and murdered Indigenous people, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Let's get right into it. Wesley Still Smoking was born on June 18, 1943 in Durham, Montana on the Blackfeet Indian Reservation. He was born and raised in a house his dad built for his mom. He was the seventh of 9 kids. Wesley would eventually meet and fall in love with a woman by the name of Esther Murdoch. They would marry and she would take his last name. The couple would eventually settle in McLeod, Oklahoma on the Kickapoo Nation. They were married for 51 years by the time Wesley would go missing. According to their son John's obituary in 2015, Wesley and Esther buried 2 other sons. They also had a surviving daughter named Edith. Edith would become the family's main spokesperson about her father's disappearance. She would describe her dad as a very talented person, the type of guy who knew a little of everything. Wesley was a union iron worker until he retired. In his earlier years, he fought fires on the Blackfeet Reservation in the 1960s, and he was a horseman who rode saddle bronc in the rodeos. He would go into the army as a medic and was stationed in Germany, where he earned his GED. He then studied electronics in trade school and worked for Texas Instruments. Wesley was also known as an excellent barber, sketch artist, and painter. He would paint Western and rodeo scenes and gift them to friends and family. He also carved miniature wood horses and riders and was an accomplished leather craft maker. He would make belts, purses, and wallets for himself and his family. He also taught himself to play the guitar. On top of all this, he was a mechanic and would fix the family vehicles. He was known to overhaul engines and transmissions in his front yard. Edith went on to say that her dad would teach her algebra when she was 7 years old. She would eventually go on to teach math. Wesley was last seen at the Kickapoo Casino on Thursday, October 11, 2018 at about 10:30 a.m. He withdrew $40 at the ATM. It is believed he was on his way to Tulsa to see his wife Esther. At the time, they were recently in a car wreck and Esther was in a rehab center in Tulsa to help her recover from her injuries. Tulsa is about an hour and a half from the casino. He was driving a black 2014 Dodge Journey SUV with temporary tags. They more than likely just purchased this car to replace the one that was in the wreck. This SUV was not equipped with GPS. Wesley and Esther were always together and were able to look out for one another. Wesley was having hearing problems and did not carry a cell phone. Wesley never arrived at the rehab center that Thursday afternoon. The last time his wife Esther saw him was the previous day on October 10th. The next day after Wesley was seen at the casino, on Friday, October 12, 2018, his daughter Edith drove from Lawton, Oklahoma to her parents' house on the 300 block of Christina Court in McLeod, Oklahoma. Her dad or his car was not there, but his newspaper was in the driveway, which was unusual. She also noticed some notes he had written down for her that previous Tuesday and Wednesday, but there were not any notes for that Thursday, October 11th, the day he was seen at the casino, or for the following day, Friday, October 12th. I could not find an exact time she arrived, but I am thinking it was early evening after work. They had plans to see Esther that next day on Saturday. Edith waited around for him. It got later and later. He never showed up. This deeply worried Edith. Her dad did not like being out after dark because it was hard for him to see at night. She began to make some calls, but no one had seen him. She reported him missing at 3 a.m. on Saturday, October 13th, 2018. Edith went to see her mom as planned on that Saturday. They both were very worried about not knowing where he was. In the meantime, friends and family got together and drove various routes from McLeod to the rehab center in hopes of finding Wesley. Edith even called family in Montana and Canada and asked them to keep an eye out for her dad. A silver alert was finally issued for Wesley on October 17th, 2018, 4 days after he was reported missing. Family and friends continued the search. Wesley was not known to have any medical conditions, but the silver alert said he was in imminent danger of serious bodily injury or death. It is speculated that Wesley got lost, ran out of gas, and perished. Finally, on Monday, October 29th, 2018, there was a break in the case. A hunter was checking his trail cam and spotted Wesley. He was walking along a trail and was using a large stick to help him walk. This area where he was spotted was on a 500-acre property. The timestamp of the photo was on October 12, 2018 at 10:51 a.m. The photo was discovered 2.5 weeks after he was last seen. The hunters who found the photo immediately emailed the photo and called authorities. They spent the rest of their day looking for Wesley on ATVs. This capture of Wesley on the trail cam gave everybody hope and a known location to search. A silver alert was reissued on October 30th, 2018. The search intensified with the Oklahoma Highway Patrol, the Mays County deputies, and volunteers from local fire departments. They searched on the ground, by horseback, drones, plane, helicopter, and they used boats on a nearby river. It was said that one nearby property owner would not allow a search on his property. A reason was not given as to why. But the 500-acre property where the photo was taken was searched several times with no luck. The search spread out to the thousands of acres surrounding the property. Much of the surrounding area was not accessible by vehicle. Wesley's SUV was located on November 10, 2018, about a mile south from where the trail cam pic was taken. The location was in Mays County, south of Murphy and east of Maisie. The vehicle was located on an old logging road and was parked near some trees surrounded by leaves. Inspection of the car revealed a Walgreens receipt from Pryor, Oklahoma, time-stamped at 9:30 p.m. on October 11, 2018. This was the day that Wesley left to make the drive to Tulsa. He was last seen at about 10:30 a.m. that day at the casino. From the casino to Walgreens is 136 miles. Google Maps estimates that it would have taken approximately 2 hours and 13 minutes to drive. But the time difference from last seen at the casino to being at Walgreens is 11 hours. The distance between Walgreens and where the vehicle was located is about 20 miles. What did Wesley do for those 11 hours? Was he driving aimlessly trying to find his way? Perhaps he used up all his fuel in his SUV doing this. Or did he pull over somewhere and fall asleep for a while? Either way, it was long after sunset by the time he parked the car along the old logging road. Edith stated that her DNA was collected for comparison to foreign DNA in Wesley's SUV. but there was no other DNA. The only evidence was that Wesley was the only one in the vehicle. Foul play is not suspected. The search continued at a steady pace until November 17, 2018. Deer hunting season began on this day, and the search was suspended for 1 month until it was safe to do so again. No hunters ever found any sign of Wesley during this time. Neither have any of the multiple searches from the beginning to present day. The odd thing that stands out to me is that Wesley's cowboy hat has never been found. It seems like it would have been the first thing he would have lost. Even if he was in the river, his hat would have floated somewhere. The logical conclusion is that he is still waiting to be found in the search area, or he made it farther than thought. There were unconfirmed reports of Wesley being picked up by a white car and driven to Anadarko, Oklahoma. Surveillance tape at a convenience store there were checked around November 5, 2018 for any sign of Wesley. This turned up nothing. Wesley was in his golden years and should have lived out the rest of his life peacefully, surrounded by his loved ones. Tribal elders are keepers of tradition, language, culture, knowledge, and wisdom. Wesley's unknown absence is a tragic blow to his family. He is deeply loved and missed every day. They will never stop searching for him until they can properly lay him to rest. If you live in Oklahoma, please check any large property you have for any signs of Wesley. Also be on the lookout for any signs of him while hunting. Please call McLeod Police Department at 405-788-400 or Mays County Sheriff's Office at 918-825-3535 with any information. You can also message his daughter Edith on the Facebook pages set up for Wesley. I will link them down below. Wesley is gone, but will never be forgotten. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Let me know what you think in the comments section, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share this video on your social medias for Wesley. And I will see you in the next video.